Hello, everyone. Today we are here with BleedingHeartWorks.
Hello.
Is there anything you would like to say before we get started?
Um, as you all may know, I'm not American, and it might be a bit different, like difficult for me to come up with certain words and stuff, but I will try my best, I promise.
You are primarily known as the artist, but we also have some writer questions for you. However, we will start with the artist questions first. So we'll go ahead and get started. When did you first get started in art?
I think, like, as for me, I don't think there was like a breaking point where I started like to think like, oh, but art is something I want to do, because art for me was always something I always did. Like it came naturally, just like going to the bathroom, like eating, like everything. Basically, it was like I needed its like function. So art for me was kind of like, I don't want to call it an escape, but it was something like I just had to do to be able to like carry on with like the everyday life and everything.
What kind of artwork do you produce?
Basically, I think I'm well most known for my very comic, like semi-realism art style. So basically, the thing I most do is comic and illustrations. I do not always paint, but it's something I might like find myself to do once in a while. But yeah, comics and illustrations is what I really, really love to do.
What kind of medium and equipment do you use for your artwork?
I think like if you would have asked me that question, maybe let's say 4 years ago, I would have been like, nah, but like I'm a traditional artist. You don't understand. Like I'm gonna be special. I'm not gonna use that digital art stuff. But here I am, 4 years later, and I use almost digital art for everything. But it's always something I don't try to use as much, because I also like to like contain like the traditional feelings and stuff, like sketching and inking. But I think mainly because I'm a poor student, I don't mainly use coloring in a traditional way. So digital art for me is mostly like, this is cheap and this is like, it's fast to do and it's so much fun because you can use so many different like techniques, and you learn a lot by doing digital art and then transforming it to the traditional later.
Where do you get your inspiration?
Oh my, where do I not get my inspiration? I think I can see inspiration like everywhere I go. Like I can watch a movie, I get an idea, or I can just go around the city and like look at stuff and you'd be like, ah, yeah, that looks neat. Or watch it, like read a comic book, anything. But I think mainly my inspiration actually comes from having conversations, whether it's like face to face or like chatting or anything. I love getting people involved in my art a lot. I like to tell people what I do. I like to ask them questions like, what do you think about this? I don't ever do, I don't ever do an art piece without actually consulting anyone first. And it would be anyone. Like my mom has gotten so many questions during like since I started to work. But that for me is like, I kind of feel like I always have to make sure that I piece someone, that I make like I get approved, because always like when I post something, I want to be able to feel like, yeah, but someone like actually like this idea, or like I hope someone will like this idea. Otherwise, I never post anything that just has to do with my personal stuff.
Are there any artists that influence your work?
Oh, there's a lot of artists. Right now, I go to art college, so like every day for me is just inspiration, inspiration, inspiration. Um, my very best friend in college is so talented, and pull so many, I pull so much inspiration from her, and at some points I always get like constipated with inspiration. So it's normally something I'm like, oh shit, like I gotta do something because I have too much. But the main artist I like to look at is the one who do like something similar to my own things. So it's a lot of comic book artists, a lot of like horror artists, fantasy artists. So yeah.
How has art changed you and your life?
Oh, I think art for me like have changed my life to something like, sorry, I got text here. I got distracted a lot.
No worries.
I think like without art at my life right now, I probably wouldn't be at the point where I'm right now, because it has been like such a way for me to like express myself and get like get to communicate with other people. And I think like, I don't know, like I don't know how anyone would not be able to live without art. So art for me, like it has seriously changed everything. And I think people these days, they kind of like tend to not think about like the personal side of things, like when it comes to art. They more tend to think about like, oh, how's this gonna get me famous? Like, how are people gonna like give me money for this? And the thing about art is that you get nothing in return for art. Like, art is just for yourself. That is something you have to like realize very quickly, because like you can start doing things for other people all the time and people will find liking to you, but as soon as you do something for yourself, people are going to start like questioning that, like, oh, but like, don't you want to get paid for this? Why are you doing something for yourself? And that's because art is like something very personal, and that's, I think like every artist has to like kind of struggle where they have to like decide, do you want to make money or do you want to like feel good about myself? So yeah.
When did you first get interested in drawing creepypasta art?
Oh my. I think it was my senior year in high school, and I was at that point where I was like, I was struggling to get inspiration. And I was like, okay, I just gotta look something up. I don't care what it is. Let's just look on YouTube and see what kind of thing I can find. Because when I draw, I have like specific periods of time where I draw like a specific thing. So I was like in desperate need of something new. I needed to think a lot more. And from the start, like I loved horror movies, like as a teen, like when I was 14, 15. And I was like, oh my God, I love Freddy Krueger, I love Jason Voorhees, but I needed something more, and something more like close to more people, again with the communication. So I started looking around, and the first thing I see is some person on YouTube, I don't remember who it was now, who played a really shitty Jeff the Killer game. And I just remember being so afraid of Jeff the Killer's, like, you know, the traditional picture of Jeff the Killer, like, you know, with big, like a little bit of fat face, like big red lips and everything of that. And I just remembered like it freaked me out so much. When I watched that game, I couldn't sleep for an entire night. And after that, I was like, shit, I gotta draw this. Like, it doesn't, I need something. Like, I need to do something new. So that's when, the day after that, I actually created my Jeff the Killer blog, A Sleepless Death. And I was like, yeah, let's just do this for the sake of fun. Like, I love getting my head into new stuff without, like, actually knowing what it is first, because I'm kind of stupid like that. So I started like researching a lot. I did all the asks, and this blog just like grew massive, like in proportions. I had like 500 followers within a week, and I was like, what the hell is going on? What are these people? Where are you getting from? So I think that like just like whole experience of getting something new and be able to like work that out, kind of like designing things, like getting a challenge, that for me was like, I love this specific genre. Like, it's so cool. So yeah, there you go.
Which creepypasta character or persona do you enjoy drawing the most?
Oh, that is a really hard question because, again, with Jeff the Killer, at this moment, like now, after like 2 years after creating the blog, I'm really like on it anymore because I don't have any inspiration for it. I think like Jeff the Killer for me is like I have a love-hate relationship. So I think he remains the person like I know how the best to draw and like how I enjoy drawing him. But at the same time, I've been doing it too much. So it's not like a challenge or like something interesting anymore because I've been there. I've been like researching all of it. But I think the the persona I probably like to draw the best is Mr. Creepypasta's the Blue Man. Just mainly because I love neon. Like I love sitting and like doing all like these lights and stuff. Like it's what I live for. So I think he's actually the one I enjoy drawing the most, mainly because the light thing.
What art project are you currently working on?
Oh my, it actually has, well, it might have a little bit to do with creepypasta. I have a few art projects going on right now. I have an assignment for school due in a few weeks, which is about our childhoods. So that's something I'm working on right now. And that's actually something very personal to me. So that's probably not something I'm going to post online or anything. It might happen, you may never know, but we'll see. Another project I have going on is that on DeviantArt, you can actually request me to draw creepypasta OCs. Like, it doesn't matter if they're well known or not, like I just want to look at people's things. Again, with the communication, like I love looking at people, getting my inspiration from them and so on. So there's that. And then I'm, on a side note, working on a campaign for Dungeon World with my 5 friends. So I've been working, I think, 3 days, like, no, not 3 days, 3 weeks straight with that. So that's currently what's going on. But on this, like on the side, I also have like a lot more to do, like commissions and everything else that has to do with life.
That is it for the art questions. The next set of questions are to you as a writer.
Mm-hmm.
How did you come up with your pen name?
Oh, since the writing for me is more of a hobby than actually like something that I really want to work on. I think BleedingHeartWorks was something I just talked to my current boyfriend at the time, like, oh, what do you think would be cool? Should I keep my old DA name or should I just go for something new? And I just like when I came up with BleedingHeartWorks, the actual studio name is that I had like an image of like a heart being like pulled together like cogwheels. So that's probably where BleedingHeartWorks came up. It's kind of a ridiculous name, but it works.
Which creepypasta do you wish you had been the one to write?
Oh, this is a really tricky question. What creepypasta do? Yeah, it's I mean, there's like so many creepypastas like I enjoy so much, but as I said before, since like the writing for me isn't that important, or it's not that close to me as it is like to art. Well, I've actually been asked a lot if I was actually the one who created Jeff the Killer. I think like from time to time, like a year ago, I got like 5 questions a month, like, oh, did you write Jeff the Killer? But I had to say no. But if there was some, I would take the credit for it. Might have been that one. Maybe. We'll see. I will have to think about that question.
Who are some of your favorite creepypasta writers?
Oh my. I know there's like two creepypastas that I've really grown to like uh, since like the past year or something, and that's Chrysanthel, who did Jason the Toymaker, which is like one of the creepypastas like I really grown to enjoy drawing. And then the other one is the Dollmaker by Ayato Inverse, and I think like those two are actually my favorite because I'm more of the type who like I get stuck in more of like character creepypasta than like just a regular scary creepypasta because I'm kind of a chicken. I'm actually a very I'm easily frightened, which is like kind of ridiculous when you tend to think of like how much horror art I do and stuff. So yeah.
Where do you get your inspiration?
Like again, it's like from so many different things, but I think I like to like pull more inspiration from just actual horror movies. Um, since the Puppeteer is like actually the only creepypasta I've ever written without me having like a few I've been wanting to do for a long time that I haven't gotten a chance to do it yet.
Mhm.
So I think like it's just a lot of like random horror movies. I think I watch like up to 3 horror movies a week with my friend because we tend to have all these like horror movie nights and we love watching those. So I think like just I love those. And then I love like just regular like old horror stories like Lovecraft and like Edgar Allan Poe and so on.
How has writing changed you and your life?
Oh, um, my I think like my actual creepypasta, The Puppeteer, it changed my life like drastically as soon as it came out. Um, I got like a lot of response, and I actually got like when people like the story so much, I actually got a lot of confidence. Like I felt like I can actually write something decent, like people would actually like, and it almost scares me like how popular the story has actually gotten like during like 2 years it's been out. So that is insane.
Why did you start writing?
I think I started writing basically when my art felt like it was too far to grasp. I tried to like there was moments or like periods of time where I struggled a lot. I had art blog. It was insane. Like I could have an art blog for like 6 months at a time. And I think writing for me was kind of a way to like get that thing started again. So when I wasn't creating art, I had to create something else. I've always been like the person, I never sit empty-handed. I always do something, what is like sewing or arting or writing. So yeah, it's basically it came from that.
Which creepypasta are you most proud of writing?
Well, I only have one. Um, so that's a very difficult answer, but yeah, I am actually like when people ask me like, "Oh, how did you come up with the puppeteer stuff?" and like, "Are you actually proud of it?" and I'm like, "Yeah, I am actually proud." But same again with Get the Killer. From the time I have like a love-hate relationship with my own character because the character came up during like such a hard time during my life, so it just yeah, it matters a lot to me, but in a way that I've been able to process it. So it's like it's way behind me right now.
What is the earliest story you ever remember writing?
Oh, oh shit. I really loved fantasy as a child. I would love creating um stories about like dragons and knights and princesses, but I think it was like during that time when I was like 9 maybe. I could barely write in a decent like way, so it wasn't like that much of a story. But I remember when I went, I think it was like the 6th grade. I transferred school like way earlier. Um, so I had like a very hard time actually arting again because I couldn't find like the piece to do it. So what I did at that point was that I started writing again. And at that time I wrote almost like a Twilight ripoff. I don't want to call it a Twilight ripoff, but imagine like a teenage romance novel, but about the Greek mythology. Um, and I actually have that story left somewhere, and I think I managed up to like 60 pages when I wrote that, but it was not that very good.
Which creepypasta has made an impact on your life?
Oh, that's a very, very hard question. Like, I think there is a lot of them that I tend to think about them a lot, but it's like such a short notice. I just think about them for a while and then I like go over to something else. But I think like I again I want to see Jeff the Killer because I'm such a boring person. Um, but mainly because like the whole Jeff the Killer thing, like it became such a huge thing with my Ask blog and everything. So yeah.
Is there a story you are currently working on?
Oh, besides my um, Dungeon World campaign, which has a lot of writing to it because I've never been a dungeon master before. Um, I'm actually trying right now to get out another creepypasta, which I've been thinking about a lot. But I kind of don't want to spoil it, because I haven't decided where to go with it yet. But I'm really really working on trying to write a new creepypasta and that making a new character, so it's not a puppeteer story at all. It's going to be something entirely new.
Where do you see yourself going with your writing career?
Nowhere. um, writing is not something I want to do to like show people. Writing is something I do completely for myself, like role playing and just writing on a regular basis, like writing down text for my drawings and stuff. But I don't think just for me, I don't think writing is the right element. But I think it's a very good way for artists to like process something that you're thinking about and then you can't get out to a drawing.
And we are on the last question for you.
Yeah.
What is a fun fact about yourself?
Oh. I don't know. A fun fact about me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, um, Here comes again. Like I don't tend to. I see myself a lot like in black and white, so it's not like. Um, I sing a lot. Like I tend to sing a lot by myself, and that's only something a lot of like just my closest friend can experience me singing. Like that's where I'm like super comfortable. So like sometimes like around like nighttime in our college halls, you can like hear me like oh singing out. Um, otherwise, I don't think there's like that much to know. Like not it's fun, but yeah.
Okay. Well, is there anything you'd like to say before we wrap this up?
Oh, thank you so much, Cabot, for letting me be on this interview. It was so much fun, and I had a blast being a part of it. So thank you.
It was very much my pleasure. I'm very glad you agreed to do this.
Yeah, no problem. And I'm looking forward to do a lot more that has to do with the creepypasta, even though I've been like not as active anymore. So I just hope people are gonna like what I do, and hopefully just enjoy it. So yeah.
Well, for those who haven't already, you can check the description to see BleedingHeartWorks DeviantArt. And so make sure you go check that out and see all of her amazing artwork. And again, thank you so much for joining me today.
No problem.
And that is it for now. So bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.